Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the winners finals of our amateur league. In the blue color, this is Dark Knight. We'll be taking Serena here on Frontier, and on the other side, Mido 117 has got Decimus. It's a pretty good setup for both of these leaders. All the aggression can definitely pay off on Frontier. We are already seeing that with the chopper bullying the Marines, but there's two of them, so that's sometimes a little bit too much. Unless you have absolute perfect micro and avoid all the shots, but there's going to be 3 Marines. Now that's a no-go. Alright, so he has to go somewhere else with that one. Just pick up some supplies or something. Good news for Mido is he's picking up all the side power. That's definitely coming in very useful. The Marines, on the other hand, are going after the power node. By the way, in this tournament, there's a £50 prize pool, just for your information. And what does Amateur League mean? It means that these are the lower ranked players in terms of tournament play. It doesn't mean that they're bad, especially towards the end of the tournament. They're usually like Onyx in game, at the very least. But yeah, you know, in tournament play, there's always a bigger fish, right? Until you reach the Pro League. Even there, you could say that. We are running 3 different leagues. The pros are playing separately, with lower ranked players not allowed in. Then Rising Star excludes the top 8 pros completely, and everybody else is allowed to play. So there's still some high level players dominating there, but everybody else can participate. And then there's the Amateur League, where even the guys that are doing well in Rising Star are excluded. So these guys get to practice definitely among each other. Basically Onyx and below is what that means in practice. Then again, Onyx is not a good reference anymore. in the game, there's so many Smurf accounts on the ladder. It just makes it impossible to get champion unless you're an actual top guy yourself. Okay, these minis are not getting picked up by Mido. The build order was good, but now we're seeing him commit a little bit too hard maybe on the choppers. He's trying to deal with the onslaught of Marines, and he's trying to do a mini base steal as well, but that's going to be a little hard to do against Serena. We do have cryo troopers coming out, so I guess the chopper response against that is going to be good. You don't want to overexpand against Serena, so I like that a lot from Mido, that he's careful about that. But then maybe the stealing of that mini base wasn't the best idea. Let's see how that works out. The vortex is fantastic, and these choppers are absolutely tearing into the infantry. That's super nice, but there's so much more where that came from. The Serena player is still pumping. Dark Knight's going to be following this up the second generator, I think. Really looks like he will. Just recycled a little bit second too early. Choppers are still doing their work from a distance. Bear in mind, there's these healing zones, right? So if you have very damaged choppers, it's probably worth it to just send them to heal over there. And you can bring them back into the fight. Rather than losing them, they're really expensive, right? 2 choppers means you could have bought a generator. But you also don't want to surrender the map to Serena. However, these Marines have grenades, so easier said than done to engage them. Shrapnel rounds are coming in, so the choppers are about to be quite upgraded, but there's only a handful of them. More are being made, but Mido still only has just a handful, and the Marines with grenades still can relatively easily handle them, especially because there's a triple pump of Marines and a little bit of cryo troopers behind that. The chopper count is starting to look a little better. But don't forget, these Marines are probably going to get some healing too from restoration drones. Right in front of this base, there's no raid camp, so there's not going to be suicide grunts to clear them out. The choppers usually do need a little support against the Marines in that form, so gotta be a little careful there. Druid icicles, making it a little bit difficult for the Marines to engage, and there's no healing just yet. I'm not sure if Dark Knight's gonna go for it. I think he might have picked some different third point. Beam is gonna clean them up, however. So huge beam here from Mido. That's gonna hold him. Hold him the base. It's pretty nice. He's still defeating the choppers, but I mean, all these turrets, they can keep him comfortable. But behind this, Dark Knight has had 3 power nodes. He's had 2 generators. He's getting a second base as he's went tier 2. Mido doesn't have any of that. He doesn't have a second base. He doesn't have tier 2. He doesn't have power nodes. He doesn't have a second generator until just now. He's significantly behind in the end. That was great play by Dark Knight. He's holding on so far really nicely. The chopper is just getting microed so much, but it barely does anything by itself. Kinda need an army. Oh god, Mido is just on 200 power. There's an ice cream truck now. And Dark Knight's gonna follow this up with Warthogs, maybe even Kodiaks eventually. Working on a second base now. He could even add in the Frost Ravens. That would be super fun if we get to see some of those. Some Frost Ravens, of course. The Cryo Troopers are still working on this base. They're not very good at building damage unless you have a lot of them. They just freeze things. Not much damage behind it. Fourth power node has been captured here by Dark Knight. Could be thinking about the 5th. He's like, I'm rich enough. Don't need to work no more. And that sounds good sometimes. Imagine not needing to work. I do a lot more tournaments. And guides. Guides are work. Guides are work. Okay, the Warthogs are a little bit too spooky for the choppers to take on. There's at least anti-vehicle turrets. But I do think the ice cream truck will freeze the base over anyway, regardless of that. And of course the Warthogs can just come in and shoot down the turret themselves. And it's gonna be too much for Mido as Dark Knight just takes this game 1 without too many problems, just pretty well prepared for this chopper transition and played his own game economically. He captured the power nodes, chilled on the ice. It's very difficult to dislodge a Serena once they do get the map control on Frontier, so actually it's a really good leader pick here. Welcome to Mirage for Game 2. Dark Knight will be bringing the Shippy Mac ship phase to this one. On the other side of the map, we've got Mido going for Capitano Cutter with the Generator second build, and supposedly a focus on this power node over here. Maybe not just yet. He goes 2 Marines then maybe, but no, he's not. He's not going 2 Marines. In fact, he's trying to get the middle with the Marines. The Grunts can shut that down, of course. Forcing the Marines to also garrison. And then the Shipmaster player would have Grunts all over the map, especially the ones being created. So yeah, lots of map control for Shipmaster here, just because of the starting unit differences. Ooh, the Marines just take it to the chin, and wow, that's a lot of damage suffered already. To be fair, they can fight off the Grunts. from the garrison. A bit of resource sharing getting started up. And both players will be getting the side minis first. Ooh, the Marines might go down. Yeah, you almost want to fight that already. Or at least you can ignore it and just pick up the power. Mido is gonna actually go for the middle mini first, which allows our shipmaster player to get everything else. But these grunts are not going for the side, so if UNSC actually gets 3 minis here, they're in a huge lead. What Banish wants to do at this point is get as many ghosts out as possible. It looks like Darknight's gonna attempt it on 2 mini bases. Trying to overwhelm UNSC. We've got in the armory Jerome getting made. Power node captured for both sides. It's really smooth. The spending of especially Mido is like super tight. It's exactly what you want to see. It's only supply pads up here. Not a single barracks has been made, which means no snipers. But then again, it's going to be a ghost build. So really well anticipated. What you want is a lot of Marines. And maybe a bunch of mines. Hopefully he would have picked up mines for the Spartan to combo with. Plenty of Marines getting made as well. But there's no suicide grunts to be seen, so it's really just ghosts. Second generator coming in for Dark Knight. All this is gonna do is hold the Marines at bay. Maybe capture a power node or two, because these shipmaster ghosts with banished raid, excuse me, they can actually capture power nodes. And really fast too. Let's see the mines. Oh, that is unfortunate. Or is it? Oh my god! Unfortunate for Dark Knight. Holy crap! He ate all of them. Oh no. Oh no, he thought he's far enough away, but he most certainly wasn't. That was painful. The entire Ghost Armada has been obliterated and the Spartan hasn't even lost his shields. This is Mido's opportunity to get a little bit of revenge. It's payback time. Dark Knight's forced to get some turrets. Oh, that was very, very nicely done by Mido for sure. Got some more Marines coming out, of course. They have grenades, so any follow-up ghosts will be also taken care of. ODST could be dropped in on the main base while there's not many turrets. The two extractors are very exposed. You shouldn't be putting them next to each other against Cutter or Decimus or any leader that can really affect two buildings at once there. Even Colony, you don't want to mess with it. Oh man, it gets spotted and the ODSTs are already crashing down on it. Even their pods doing some damage, of course. The Satchels are very focused on one of the extractors here. You ideally want to zoom in and like place it exactly between the two buildings. You have to be very precise with your targeting because it likes to snap to the center and random areas around it. Suicide Grunt doing a little bit of cleanup on the Marines, but the Spartan already has a star, and despite that healing, it's just gonna take down another one, isn't it? These extractors are getting wrecked, man. Marines may not be doing much to the turrets, but just forcing out these anti-infantry upgrades is a big deal. Oh, this extractor is about to get it too. No one's targeting the mines. Yikes. So much health is already lost. Spartan doing his best to chase down the elites. And they're down. Great suicide ground connection on the free marines. That's good value for money, but well, needed a lot more than value for money there. Ooh, that power extractor while building, taking a satchel detonation. That is very, very painful indeed. I don't see how you can easily come back here against Mido. Dark Knight is in serious trouble. Sure, just pull back your guys, save them for another day. Tier 2 is in. Combat Tech Marines are coming. There's going to be an air pad and the upgraded Spartan. Can maybe even think about Hellbringers with dispersion nozzles. It's not a bad idea. It's just so much power required to do all those things. So capturing the power nodes, definitely necessary. Combat Tech Marines, ladies and gentlemen. They're in. Snipers getting added. I guess that will help against the Rangers quite a bit. Especially once they're in high numbers. Like, just a handful of snipers, no, that gets picked off. But you get like 5 or 6. Suddenly the elites start disappearing. Adding in the foundry. Second extractor, can't afford the upgrade for it. That's very unfortunate. Elites having to chill in the garrisons there. Maybe if there's a good glassing beam and cleans up all of this except the Spartan. That's like the one hope. Yeah, look at those snipers at max range. They're just so potent. You just gotta keep them there. Ghosts are potentially finding something here. Maybe a spirit support drop could put some pressure on this base and at least force these guys to turn around. Because if not, then, well, you're just gonna get a damage donut in your face in 2 minutes. I don't know how Dark Knight can stop that. He doesn't even have a barracks right now, so it's extra difficult from here. I like the spread. It's very smart. The beam could be coming anytime. Just pre-split, then you don't have to do it tactically in the moment. Extra base coming up. I mean, there are some suicide grunts. Maybe this blob isn't that scary, but the snipers will instantly target them, and there's 4 snipers. And there's the damage donut as predicted. Spartan should probably steal this. I guess Reaver is going down very quick. Let's do the spin. Suicide grunts are not really connecting with anything at all. Too fast, too fast. Go slower. There we go. Lots of full DST satchels getting placed there around the corner buildings. That's really the best spot to put them, because it will hit both the main building and the 3 surrounding buildings at the corner. You can do so much damage with those satchels. Dark Knight is trying his absolute best to heal this base back up, but it's so much easier said than done. The one engineer has got a massive job, but it's too massive. And Dark Knight will have to give that up. We are going to a pretty even series here. 1-1 is the score. Maybe game 5 is going to be a thing. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, in the blue color here on Bedrock, we've got Dark Knight playing as the Yap Yap. On the other side, his opponent Mido is going to be bringing Anders. Both of these guys are really good. Yap Yap just has a lot of economy thanks to the Cannon Fodder. You don't have to spend a lot of supplies on grunts early on. You can just put them into buildings, and then it's much easier to get an expansion, which on Bedrock is easy to defend thanks to these little islands that you've got. Anders is just super solid because of those islands as well, especially once you have Sentinel, the Retriever Sentinel. You can just fly around these parts, very difficult to chase. So yeah, you can do a lot of work with that. And of course in the early game as well, you got some options, but this is gonna be an all-out rush. He does not want to be playing the later stages of the game against Yap Yap apparently, even though Anders would be pretty good at it. And especially once you get to mass Kodiaks. Yap Yap doesn't have a teleport or anything like that. I think that's actually a big problem for it. But we're not gonna see any of that, I think, because early double barracks is pretty much all in. Dark Knight has got a mini base steel, but supposedly this is just gonna be a... Oh, we're going for the raid camp, but already facing off against the Hellbringer there. So we'll have to see exactly how much Hellbringer commitment is going to be shown by Mido. If it's gonna be too much, then Dark Knight will already be able to prepare with a ton of choppers. Now bear in mind, Yap Yap does not have suicide grunts, so that's not going to be an answer to it. But it's been scouted. Dark Knight was here, he's seen all the buildings. Ooh, we're gonna have a Trixie recycle there. Instead going into a hero. I like it. Is Dark Knight gonna go back to confirm? Nope. Going back to confirm is usually a good idea, because, you know, these Trixie players are doing nasty things. Dirty schemes and everything. Heavy grunts are getting added to the army. There's 2 raid camps for our Yap Yap, so Dark Knight is taking this seriously. But if it's gonna be all heavy grunts, then that Spartan's effectiveness is gonna be rather on the high end. There should be some Grunt Riders. Really good against the hero. And actually they're really good against Hellbringers. So Yap Yap doesn't really need the suicide grunts for that type of cleanup. If it ends up being all Marines because they're preparing for, I don't know, mass chopper, then yeah, you can just add in the heavy grunts because they're like better Marines basically. Ooh, running over the mine there. That's gonna get rid of one of the Hellbringers at least. And there's gonna be methane wagons as well, boosting up all this Yap Yap crew. Let's see if the Spartan gets to steal the methane wagon. But first it has a job to do. Oh! Not the jump. No mine though. No mine. No capture as well is what that means though. Methane wagon's about to detonate. Doesn't hurt any of the USC units so far. There's no turrets. Dark Knight kind of is not ready. But he should be on third point very shortly. So a beam might be absolutely in play. As Mido already calls down his sentinels. Arc defense ends up being pretty good against vehicle units. But there comes the beam. Spartan's dodging very nicely to start off. Are we gonna see a jump? No, it's too late. The Spartan does go down, but a lot of the UNSC infantry is standing strong, with the banished ones getting kind of picked off by the sentinels. Now going after the extractors, and both of them are pretty vulnerable there. Mido himself going for a second generator, so that's some pretty good business right there. Liking this a lot. To get power nodes, but with the UNSC not getting the second generator to kill, this is a little bit less potent than it could have been. Especially losing the Spartan is pretty expensive, although Mido has the second generator up back home. You gotta remember Dark Knight has had it, and he went to tier 2 already. It's just a matter of time until he gets a third generator and starts working on bases, right? Striking back in the middle is also absolutely an option. Man, this is good. This is some good stuff. Like, I don't have anything too fundamental to add for these guys, so they're already playing very well for Amateur League. And all I can hope for is that they're also going to be playing a lot of the Rising Star. In 2 weeks from now, there's going to be an event for that. Of course, if you watch on YouTube after the fact, then it's too late. Unless you see it like a few days after the live stream. But if you're watching an edited VOD, that's late. Highly recommend anyway to sign up on our website and Discord. And, you know, it's very easy to find all the tournament dates. And especially the next upcoming one is like pinned big time. You always should join Rising Star and Amateur if you're newer to the game or not top level. Pro League is a bit more invite based. But basically, if you beat the top guys in Rising Star, you automatically qualify. So everybody has a path to Pro League if they want to make it. The road will be difficult. The top players practice a lot. They play a lot. They watch tournaments. They analyze each other's play. They optimize. Dark Knight's going for the expansion. I think I like his chances from here. Mido is still going for some double barrack shenanigans. What is this? Hellbringers with dispersion nozzles, I guess? Anders does make the upgrade pretty cheap with research and development. Already getting that Spartan upgrade in now, supposedly for cheap. Dark Knight on 3 power nodes with this. Oh, wait. He's not capturing that. Someone capture that. Not just this. Fighting off dispersion nozzle Hellbringers will not be the easiest thing. Oh boy, the split isn't there. There was no pre-split. Mido is eating the beam. Oh my god, and especially under the effect of methane, that would have been so much worse, but fortunate for him, he captured that, and now the Hellbringers can actually go to work, even though the split wasn't good. Arc defense also adding quite a bit to that. Here comes the squish. Poor Grunt, man. All these infantry that just were not ready for this. Picking off the heroes one by one is pretty good stuff here. Spartan can go for the next methane wagon if he wants to. And he is. Oh my god. Dude, these Hellbringers have absolutely changed everything. You could say the banished army is cooked. Yes. Okay. You'll have to forgive me. You can find it within yourself. Where's the Sentinel though? It's 11 minutes. Resources are not there. So Dark Knight still has some time to build up his force of Reavers. Very much like to see that. Spartan might actually go down. Oh my god, it's so close. He's gonna get it, right? Oh, what? Oh my goodness, how is this thing surviving? That's nuts. There's just not enough damage here. Could go for a big slam real quick. Oh, everybody's stunned. They are smoked. This Spartan is never gonna die. It's immortal. Holy cow, Mido just did that so nicely. Really beautifully done. Set the world on fire, my friend. Well done. You deserve it. Another hero going down. And you know that Spartan seems ready to go for another ride. Can't be long now. Arc Defense Sentinel is taking down another fort wagon as well. I guess the Spartan isn't going for another ride right now. Maybe soon. You don't see any Reavers still. Mido is working his resources up to the 2k mark. And at that point he can get his Sentinel in. Okay, this time he doesn't have the cooldown ready. So might not get to escape all these Rangers. It's a little bit too many. Especially with the turret support. Maybe a bit of Vigil. How is this hero not like 2 stars? 0 stars. That's just ridiculous. Okay, all these augmented extractors are completely exposed. This is where you gotta call in the Sentinel, but where is it? There's still no power. Oh no. It's definitely worth capturing the power nodes. Okay, there it is. That mini is about to evaporate in like 1 second. And another one. Please no shoot. Poor Sentinel can't be allowed to have some fun, man. Here comes the big boom. Ooh. Actually, that's not too bad. The guys can fix it, right? Never mind. It's a little late. Just partying there. But yeah, I'm afraid for Dark Knight, he's lost 2 of the 3 generators already. He doesn't have an expansion, whereas a USC guy does. Mido is working on still the early stages of having an expo, but at least he has one. Three Reavers now, that's a lot more difficult to take on with the Sentinel. There will need to be more stuff here, like a Spartan to help out. Once there's 5 Reavers, you definitely want to leave. I don't think it's worth the extractor even. Ooh, they're coming after it. Gonna have some Kodiaks on the high ground, hell yeah. Beam's coming down too. It's honestly hurting this guy a lot. The Sentinel might actually go down. Oh man. But I guess they did a lot of work on the base, so it's fair enough. The Kodiaks can do the rest. Or can they? Being released one by one doesn't help. And Mido's going tier 3 now behind this. It's gonna be able to bring an even stronger Spartan than before. Of course, the big drop would be still scary. But maybe you don't want to drop them on the 3 boys over there. That's maybe too much. Kodiak idea was not effective. Douglas being remade. Then we've got some Scorpions coming in, but also there's a drop from Dark Knight. He's looking to make a difference with this base. Might be able to actually destroy it if he's quick about it. Getting the garage would be particularly important. Doesn't seem to be focusing that right now. The focus is very firmly on the center part of the base, trying to get it all at once. That's easier said than done. Yeah, with the tank out, it's definitely not happening. Even with the methane bombas, and even the supply pad survives at like 1 health. Okay. Spartan's back out. Plenty of Reavers here, and the addition of Wraiths should be very helpful too. Maybe we can even get to a pretty high number now that Dark Knight is gonna have a base himself. But so far, this army is looking much better to me. Especially with the Spartan being able to steal the Wraith. Oh, he's doing it. It's not about the Super Sentinel anymore. Suppose the Grunt Dome will help. That's nice. The tanks just offers so much firepower here, you guys. Even the Grunt Dome can hold against that, especially with the Helper here also helping out. That's a lot of anti-building damage. Our Yapia player once again forced back home. Not gonna see a Retriever Sentinel drop, although it's ready. That means something else. Maybe just more Scorpions, to be honest. With vehicle upgrades. Gonna add up in power real quick. Well, that base getting destroyed is a bit of a disaster for Dark Knight, definitely. Not great news at all. The Cyclops are just taking out any vehicle that gets close. It's time to head to the main base with several tanks, and it's just going to be so difficult to stop, especially as the numbers are growing further. Nightingales are going to be added, and maybe even Vultures down the line to help nuke down the base, but I think Dark Knight might just be toast here. Especially with the Sentinels. Yeah, there's no way you can stop this with just two Gobbos. Please don't shoot me can stop a lot of it, especially off the Sentinels. That's very useful. Nicely done taking everything down. Beam is coming in, but it will have to choose basically a single target, one tank, two tanks. That's good. That's good cost efficiency there. But unfortunately for Dark Knight, he's losing all his buildings that are attached to him. It's not just 19 population versus 58 and counting. Yeah, especially as the resources get higher again for our USC player. There's the opportunity of yet another big drop. Spartan could take the remaining Wraith. Ooh, the mine is so close to the tank. Not gonna drive over it though. Just teasing us. Dark Knight holding on to dear life just in case he can make something happen, but he's going up against a USC player with soon to have 3 bases. Already has 4 power nodes, and the Spartan can just steal any vehicle that comes out. What can you do? Dark Knight's really spent all his economy just now. Forced to get some power extractors all the way in the back. All UNSC needs to do is build up another army and go again. Oh, now bringing in the Kodiaks, but we are entering the late game, right? So upgrading Sentinel Beacon and all that stuff is very, very effective. So every Kodiak shooting will be summoning 2 Sentinels for a few seconds. As if it wasn't hard enough already to deal with this stuff. Adds so much pressure as well with all these noises it makes. Please don't shoot me, saving Dark Knight a few seconds, but it's just too much, isn't it? All the Kodiaks are now getting to work. Oh, there's just the 1 Kodiak so far. Vehicle upgrades coming in. Wait, that's a little surprising actually. Didn't expect that. 2 Kodiaks. But this base also isn't producing Kodiaks actually. Spartan getting just enough healing to survive. And now it's really just the base left. Can just go for it. That is some serious firepower. Dark Knight's toast. He's got all the minis. He's trying some drops. It's an upgraded drop now. But there are 3 turrets here to deal with it, so I'm not so sure it's gonna work. The army can of course just come back. The sentinels are getting called in again. That should protect the base sufficiently. Well, the base is getting low. Are there no nightingales or something? There is one coming. But is it soon enough? Nightingale? Ooh, this is very close, but all the Grunt Riders get taken out in the end, and Mido has all the bases, so Dark Knight is just timing out at the moment. Just a few more seconds, and he's toast. It's gonna be a 2-1 so far for Mido, but it's a best of 5, so you would need to collect 1 more win, but that was beautifully done. Alright, Fishers for game number 4. Could be the last game if Dark Knight doesn't get his act together. He's going in with Atriox. On the other side of the map, Mido is bringing Johnson to the table. Not contesting the grunts in the middle just yet. The chopper is going to the side as well. Maybe the Marine can get in first, but I think he's being very conservative and just letting Banished have 3 power stacks, which is a lot. That is a lot to capitalize on, so I already don't like Mido's opener. What I would have liked to see is 2 extra Marines to the middle, fight it out with the Banished, and then try to take the mini base. After that, all you gotta do is just pick up your initial supplies and you should be able to afford the follow-up buildings very, very nicely. But yeah, it's just gonna be a passive early game here on Fishers. Mido is happy with the side mini base. It's very distant though compared to this one. So our Atriox player definitely has the initiative, but then again, don't forget Johnson has bunkers and you can just get your own hero in there as well as some snipers. That can go a super long way. So never underestimate the Johnny. Especially if they grab the power node early on. Okay, Atriox's Chosen is getting built or trained. And we potentially are gonna have the first sniper coming out soon. If you go hero on the 5th slot, you can't afford both. So that barrack should have been the last building to be made. Gives you a little bit of extra supplies that way. Well, Chopper's gotten run down pretty bad. That hurts. Snipers now coming out. And we've got the Johnny. Ready to show everyone the biz. It's quite a bunch of brutes though, so if there is gonna be a bunker play, they could technically beat up the bunker itself. That's something to watch out for, especially if there's Suicide Grunt support, because the Suicide Grunts would be able to stun whatever is inside. And then these guys just follow up. Big nasties. It's a lot of suicide runs, man. Alright, the brutes do have countermeasure mines. It's gonna be a very large attack, definitely. We gotta get a bunker down as soon as possible for Mido, honestly. A second one wouldn't even hurt. So the sooner he does it, the sooner he'll get access to a second one. Here come the brutes. Oh, the bunker has nobody inside. All the suicide runs crashed into it. Now this is an easy cleanup for the UNSC. All the turrets, the Johnny, the sniper on the far side. Oh, wait, there's just the one turret. But still, that's more than enough. Look at this. All the brutes going down. Mido is having an amazing hold here. He was ready for this. The one-star chosen could be a problem though, especially with there not being an extra bunker ready to go. Could run all the way into that. The Johnny will have to sacrifice something, and I guess it's gonna be himself. Ooh, he's trying to dodge. Did you see the Wiggles? That was real nice. Chosen gets the shot off. But the 4 snipers are just a little bit too much to push into. Dark Knight has to stop. There's no way around it. Mido has cleaned up. He would be lucky to escape with the hero, to be honest. I don't think the snipers should allow that very easily. But then again, they're not very healthy themselves, so they have to be really careful with getting onto the high ground. There's a slope here after all, so you can't just see up. Mido gonna attempt to remake the Johnny. But Dark Knight's already in tier 2. He's got an extra base coming up. He's got 2 power nodes. So yeah, Dark Knight's doing really nicely. I guess Mido is gonna click in tier 2 before remaking the Johnny. No, he's making the Johnny. Oh no. I already thought this base is safe enough, you know. I said Dark Knight has to turn around, right? Well, yeah. So why also make an extra hero? That's so expensive, and your tier 2 is gonna be late, your extra buildings are gonna be late. It's just a little rough. Yeah, snipers will be handling this. They probably don't want to quite take on the Chosen, especially since he's now tier 2 upgraded with 1 star. That's quite a lot of power in a very big package. He's a big boy. Mido now working on getting out some Mantis. Mines on the bunker is not a play you see a lot, but it still happens. Eventually that plasma will be doing significant damage to it. It lasts pretty long too. So a bunch of those bars are gonna disappear. Well, the other mines would be a lot less potent. But here's an opportunity for Johnny to just deploy his healing beam, of course. or beacon. And maybe to take on some of these rangers is an option here as well. Gotta take down that beacon if these guys want to make any progress though. Minus 40% damage is definitely strongly felt with those engineers doing the thing. Now Johnny is shooting too. And that will take down some of these elites. Plenty of takedowns here. This is looking like a pretty good army. What I'd like to see is actually a shroud from our banished player to shut down some of this sniper fire. Because UNSC is going super heavy on snipers already. There's more outside. Oh my god. The heal is very nice on that bunker, but eventually we'll be going down another bunker will be necessary, and they'll be getting it. This isn't even bunker level 2, by the way, so there's no shielding on it. There's shielding on the Mantis, however, so that's pretty good. Nice takedown off that sniper, by the way. Just jumping on it. Yeah, Mido's basically trying to double pump. He's ready to go tier 3, and he's clicked it. Dark Knight already is tier 3 himself, so rifled barrel chosen can't be too far out. He does have the shroud. And the Wraiths are coming. But the Mantis can quite reasonably fight that. Also, we got the 1-star Johnny, which is rather good here. Snipers can definitely deal with the hunters, but not with them and the chosen at the same time, so that's something they have to be careful with. The chosen is also really fast, so you can chase them. But with great micro from Mido, he's kind of running it down. Good job there. Yeah, these guys are really good actually with their control. Very impressed. Population count, that's 64 versus 40. So Mido just being very efficient with the smaller group. And with additional Mantis getting added in, they actually have some pretty high potential. But oh, the snipers are dead. All the veteran snipers just went down. The EMP Mach Blast would have been so good there to stop everyone from shooting except the chosen, but just never happened. Oh my god, they might even get the Johnny dead. That chosen's so insane. Yeah, once rifle barrel is in. That's just nuts. Siege turret very backwards. It's not gonna reach all this stuff. It might be able to hit this base if Mido discovers it, but I don't think that's gonna be the case. This looks very much like Dark Knight might just have this in the bag after that fight. This was a very pivotal one. Taking down all the bunkers. Now taking down all the Mantis. The hero is dead too. And we've got a rifle barrel chosen with 2 stars and a massive amount of air support. So this is looking rather good. John's getting upgraded to his tier 3 variant, I think. Targeting lasers for the Mantis are not in yet, by the way. Try to get turret upgrades now. Oh wait, they are in. It's gonna give them quite a bit of extra damage, but you know, fighting chosen hunters, under engineers, you're not gonna do much damage with them. So we are getting a game 5 as predicted. Very nicely done by Dark Knight. GG. Beautiful micro on both sides though. Just Dark Knight had more stuff. Well, I guess expect the unexpected. Dark Knight will be bringing in Jerome here in the blue color on Vault. It's not ideal for the map. You could play mobile styles with it though. Let's see what happens. But Isabel was built for this. So I have to favor Isabel in this one. Let's see how that ends up working out. Jerome can certainly do a lot, but just pure late game power definitely belongs to Isabel. I guess you got things like triple heroes capturing everything. You can steal vultures in the late game. That can be really nice for sure. But what Jerome can do really well is get time for heroes and have exactly 60 population of like warthogs running around. That should be able to compete with Isabel's cheaper warthogs. And then both players can use mines, turret drops versus Mech Blast. Early on, it's pretty fair, but I think just once it gets to the point where Isabel has holograms, Isabel has heavy metal, and she can take control of your vehicles too. That's tough. Jerome himself would be just a really slow hero as well, so Alice is just in a better position there. I wouldn't say you're gonna want to go for Mastodons on this map. It's just, they're a little bit too slow, aren't they? And also being down 2 mini bases to 4 is not a great moment. Mido greatly enjoying map control here. Although it will take a moment longer for him to actually build the buildings to benefit from it. The Dark Knight wants to put on the pressure. Technically, early game Jackrabbit Wars should be belonging to Jerome as well, right? I think. Just time for heroes, 60 pop Jackrabbits. That should be really nice for sure. But it's not what we're gonna be seeing with the hero out. Only too many rabbits for Mido in order to deal with Hellbringers. It's the hero that's scary. Support drone is getting research, so yeah, he's now stuck with it. Has to make a ton. That could be punished technically with hero and marines. I'm just slowly working away on this mini base. Capturing one power node at a time is Dark Knight. Still no second generator there from Mido, but Dark Knight's already upgrading his and getting a turret up just in case the Jackrabbits decide to show up there for a quick snipe. Because if he gets 2 turrets, it's even better. Like, that should be really solid, to be honest. Some good reset micro here from Mido. Second generator now coming in. Yeah, Spartan's coming home to defend because, well, the Marines can just manage fine to capture all these Pounders. Oh, Nora with a big raid of 126 people. I'm assuming Age of Mythology stream. So, hope you had fun with that. We're doing a Halo Wars 2 amateur tournament, which is what it sounds like. It's lower level players, although we're getting to the end of the tournament, so the better players among the lower level players are now fighting. And we're having a hell of a series here between these two. They're actually playing really well, so... Amateur League doesn't mean low quality, especially towards the second half. But we basically run 3 different leagues. There's a Pro League, there's a Rising Star League. The Pro only consists of the top 12. Sorry, it's the top 16 actually, I think so. Oh, what? Magpie is getting used here. Wow. Actually isn't going to be able to take down the generator as it's getting healed as well, or repaired. And the Jackrabbits just pay the price, have to leave. But yeah, Halo Wars for Age of Mythology players. The game is actually built on Halo Wars 1, which used to be built on Age of Empires 3 with the mythology features, of course. So you got the 2 factions, the Banished and the UNSC, and they are using like leaders for the different sub-factions. So like Age of Mythology uses the major gods, this game uses leaders. And guess what? You got leader powers. Familiar? I think so. It's like the god powers. So Halo wrapper, some of the Age of Mythology gameplay, but much simpler economy. The buildings do the resources for you. You just build them on these socketed slots. There's 2 resources, supplies and power. Your bases are in fixed locations like in Age of Mythology. And there's mini bases as well, which are just very nice to build some basic infantry with, and also scout vehicles. And the game, just broadly speaking, has a rock, paper, scissors system. Infinite economy, that's also something to have in common with Age of Mythology. You just can go forever. If you can't kill each other, then there's some really good game ending tools though. Alright, these Warthogs are bringing a little bit of serious firepower to the fight, so the Jackrabbit spam's days are definitely over. I mean, the Jackrabbit spam is a great opener on a very large map like this, right? Especially if a bunch of rushing infantry is going to be heading your way to take down your buildings, but, well, against the higher tier Warthogs, they're just not that great. Even with the higher numbers, they're not going to be able to hold on. And meanwhile, the Jerome hero in the Mantis has cleaned up the mini-base on the side. Mido needs to really get something together, and something that's not Jackrabbits really is what I mean by that. Lots of Warthogs coming out. Isabel is super good at doing that, of course, as she gets the cheaper Warthogs with her passive leader power. We're also gonna have some holograms, which actually Dark Knight can't see, so to him it looks like that. To us, the spectator, and Mido, it looks like this. The holograms just take some extra damage for you. Really nice leader power usage there. But Mido is nearly ready to go to tier 3, whereas Dark Knight is nowhere near. He's actually spent his power on the vehicle upgrade level 1, which is coming in now. So there's also 3 tiers of like global upgrades for your entire unit roster, split into infantry, air, and vehicles, right? And you can just upgrade them 3 levels, just like in Age of Mythology, with the infantry, archers, and cavalry, right? So it's really not that different in terms of starting to understand it. When is Implode going to end the game is a great question, because there's destructive leader powers too. So you've seen the Mag Blast earlier. Once that gets upgraded, because leader powers can be upgraded in this game, so you can see that little bar on the side above the minimap. That's like the experience level for leader powers. You unlock them whenever you get a new point, whenever this bar fills up, and then the individual leader powers, you can upgrade them with a point as well. So you maybe don't unlock a new one, but you upgrade an existing one. This Nightingale just smoked the base, making it invisible. Because, you know, peekaboo, they didn't learn the lesson. That's a lot of Warthogs though from Mido all of a sudden. He's certainly set up a lot of production around his bases. And I'm not sure that Dark Knight can stop it, which would cost him the winner's finals round here. A bunch of mines getting thrown down. Oh my god, this mine might detonate there. Woo! He was not looking there. If you immediately react, you should be able to pick them off, but there was no Wolverine with the Warthog, so there's no detection. The Mantis is finally coming back. The Mag Blast once again getting used on the base. It doesn't do that much damage to buildings, to be honest, so I would prefer it on the units. Just something to mind. Oh, here comes the trash dump, but fortunately the Warthogs were already moving out of the way, so they dodged the worst of that. Pretty sure the Nightingales don't have any more smokes left until it recharges, so the Spartan is on its own. Gets sniped. There's just too many Warthogs, and the base is gonna be next. Even with the Victory turret trying to help out, it's just not going to happen. And Nightingale gets taken down. Oh, also I should add that the leader powers are not free to use in this game. You have to pay even for the very first cast of it, and it costs your core resources, right? So both supplies and power are seeing use with that. The Victory turret is definitely getting taken down. We've got Gauss Hogs, so they no longer use chain guns, but this Gauss weapon, longer range, more damage is what we're going to be seeing here. They do run over the mine, so that hurts, but these turrets are not anti-vehicle. One of them is getting upgraded in the back, so maybe Dark Knight still can hold on, but he's down the base, man. You might have 2 extra mini bases, which is meaningful. But if this Warthog just leave instead of fighting the anti-vehicle turret there for no reason, they should be able to pick off some of the minis around the map. But I think they want the generator, which is pretty expensive, especially once it's upgraded, right, like that. So that's a good snipe. And now they can just roam around the map, pick off the mini bases. They're pretty mobile. They have pretty good base damage. So I think that's a neat idea. Mido's own base actually has not been populated here. So yeah, these 3 Warthogs might just be able to take it down. That's pretty nice. One problem with the Gauss Hog is they have an accidental balance mishap where infantry and garrisons takes basically 0 damage from them. So that's like one of the downsides of upgrading. It's definitely not intentional, but it's like that. So rip, I guess. Rip Gauss Hogs. They're my favorite unit. Oh, they're running over my favorite units are running over the mines. No. Not like this. Okay, the Spartan and the Scorpion tank will make short work of these Warthogs though. So that's a bit of a soft counter system with the higher tier unit of the same type usually doing better. That's definitely the case with the tanks versus the tier 2 vehicles. And we got the laser barrage upgrade coming in for Jerome. So when he calls in his Mantis drop, that will also be dropping a bunch of lasers in before just blasting whatever's underneath. Yeah, thanks Nora. Have a good night. Just continuing to pick off these side minis. The more buildings Mido can secure himself, the more economy he's got, right? So that's really the mission here. And with Dark Knight only having like 1 tank, that is not impressive. Not in the slightest. Having to rebuild all these buildings, losing the minis on the side. This is tragic for his economy right now. He cannot afford to make tanks. He can afford making 1 tank at a time, I guess, but this last building should not have been an air pad. That should have been probably another supply pad, to be honest. We got 2 tanks now, which is better than 1. But if Mido's gonna be left alone for much longer, then it's gonna be an issue. He's also getting tanks now, and guess what? The Isabel tanks are better than the Jerome tanks. Once you get the passive. Nightingale does have shielding, so yeah, that's the best offense passive. Just gives a shield to these guys and the tanks. Improves the tank's ability as well, which I'm assuming at some point will be coming in. not yet. Once you have many tanks, it's definitely worth getting canister shells. There's already a bunch. Go together with the Warthogs, which is certainly an epic look. But oh, there's the laser barrage. Getting a bit of a stun in to begin with, and then but the victory turrets, but the victory mines weren't victorious with their placement, I'm afraid. Oh wait, the canister shell is already in, and these are best offense ones, so they're actually doing significant damage. Getting down 25% of the other tank's health. Trash dump is in. But it really wasn't that bad. Once again, nicely dodged by Mido. Of course, the powers get a nice little warning in this game. So you have some opportunity to get out of the way. If you're not looking, you're screwed. They hit very hard. Alright, well, this minimal amount of units is currently living on a prayer. Life's tough. Dark Knight's getting taken down, I think, guys. This is very spooky. Especially those Goshawks can just engage from range. You just put the you put the holograms up front, and then, well, what are you gonna do? Dark Knight has some more healing in there, but for how much longer? At this point, I think just take down the supply pad real quick. Every little bit of income you can take away is very meaningful. With that base gone now, I just don't see how Dark Knight can come back, ladies and gentlemen. This is a little bit too hard, I would say, in Halo Wars 2. Probably just not going to happen. Oh well. Ooh. Just a much larger armor for Mido. I don't have to point that out. You guys can see it. There is one way back, I suppose. If Dark Knight can build up a lot of resources, then he can call in Omega Team. And the Spartans from that should be able to hijack the enemy tanks. That should be the way back into this. But then Dark Knight has to go home and turtle on his base. Hope that the anti-vehicle turret can carry him a little bit. That's his best shot right now. Anything else just isn't gonna work, in my opinion. Of course, a Spartan can buy some time, but look at that fleet of Scorpions. It's just a little too much. Oh man, he's locked out of his own base. But Dark Knight might have the resources momentarily to drop in. Omega Team, where is it? Come on, man. Now or never. Otherwise, you're losing the base. There they are. Oh, they could take 3 of the tanks. Come on. Do it. Okay, they took one of the weaker tanks. That's not the best. But that will turn half the army into his own. That's pretty good stuff. Ooh. Mech Blast coming in to destroy a generator, of course. Very nasty, but hey, free tanks for free. And if you can keep them relatively healthy, especially the Spartans within them, he can do it again. And he can do it again. And he can do it again. And he can do it again. This is highly potent. So maybe all is not lost. He still has 2 bases. As long as he can save that, it's all good. Are these holograms literally blocking his path? Bro. That's sick. Okay, he blasted his way through. but yeah, they have collisions, so you can do that. Oh, the drive-by. The drive-by is going to take down his base. My goodness, the hologram path blocker actually did the Lord's work here. Impressive. Super nicely done there by Mido. That was super nice. This is a great series, to be honest. Like going to game 5, seeing some sick plays back and forth. Got some more Nightingales getting added in. Maybe Omega team can take some more tanks. As long as they don't mistakenly jump on the Spartan tank, because that would not be captured. There's a Spartan inside, right? So can't do it. Oh, careful not to lose the Spartan trying to capture. That's very important. That's why you want to do all 3 like in a quick succession. So they stun all the other tanks. Okay. That looked weird for a second. I think he moved by accident. Oh no. He might lose one of the Spartans here if he's not careful. The tanks have really high damage against heroes. So you gotta be very careful with how you engage that. Yeah, we're fine for now. It's fine for now. Maybe you can get another jump and it's just momentarily ready to go. Oh, the trash dump's coming in, but heavy metal is taking care of absorbing all that. If we see a few smokes, it's absolutely safe to go for the jump. One of the tanks is already destroyed by canister. During heavy metal, these guys deal more damage, as well as they resist a lot better. Their armor is buffed. And yeah, that worked out super nicely there. Of course, the red Spartan there, Alice, won't be able to capture back the tanks because they're Spartan inside, right? And Isabel only gets to have 1 Spartan, not 4. That's the special thing about Jerome. Of course, they cost massive amounts of population, so it's totally not free. But with how much value they are accruing here, by continuously capturing the tanks, that's actually working out very nicely so far. Oh, what happened there? I think these guys went out of range. Likewise there. Well, the Spartans are out of the bag now. But hey, meanwhile Jerome has gained a star. Or his Mantis. You never know until you know. Should be just Jerome. Mido is still sticking with the tanks, is he? No, he's switching to vultures. You know, once you have max vultures, the situation will really change against the Spartans. You can just nuke them at that point. Even if they steal your vulture, fine, just nuke them. Just one at a time. It's totally okay to lose a handful of vultures. Of course, once the Jerome player himself has vultures too, that's spooky. But then you can use your Ghost in the Machine to steal them. Right now, you can't even use Ghost in the Machine because, well, the Spartan tanks are immune to that. That's the leader power for the new viewers. That's the leader power that... Oh, wait! Back blast! It actually isn't highly upgraded just yet, so it didn't do that much damage. But yeah, Ghost in the Machine, basically just a small circle of taking control of enemy vehicles. There's the vultures. Nuke immediately takes down the tank. The Spartan's not doing particularly hot. Pretty good pullback macro, by the way, on the vulture, just to make sure it stays out of reach for all those Spartans. But yeah, looks like the Spartan Alice gets sniped over there. Another vulture coming in. And Spartan actually misses the jump. Oh man. Dark Knight's gonna be fuming from that. Vulture nuke getting targeted. It's nowhere near enough damage. You need a lot more than that. Is that still level 1 air? What is going on? It might be level 2 air, I suppose. It's certainly not level very high. Perhaps it's time for the Condor. But I don't think we'll see that. Another nuke coming in. I mean, it does damage, but what you really gotta do is take down these Nightingales. They are so expensive themselves, and you can one-shot them. That's never gonna go wrong. That was just a stun on purpose. As the Spartan gets moved out, the other one's coming in. That's a steal. Then I don't understand. Why not just steal them all? There's another one. Is Dark Knights just going to win now? He's just taking down the garage. There's very few vultures coming, if any. Although he's on one base, his heroes are being so effective that he's just been running away with this game. It's insanity. How is he doing this? Okay, finally we've got a Ghost in the Machine. And it does in fact manage to steal the Mantis. Spartan was in. Mido's based on just half health. The Wolverines turned back control to the original owner, Dark Knight. They can trigger Spartan morale if there's a big fight, which there doesn't seem to be. Mido loses the base, man. The blob moves on. There's no upgraded turrets here, so the main isn't even defended. But Mido is trying to run around the map to do some work. Dark Knight's main's pretty heavily defended with three anti-vehicle turrets. They're not very healthy though, but they're there nonetheless. Wait, where's the third Spartan? Okay, here we go. Nuke's getting shot. Quite a bunch of missiles are connecting. Yeah, Mech Blast is coming in. I'm not even sure if that was in time with the Spartan morale. I think it wasn't. So they might have taken full damage there. Spartan morale gives some more armor and damage and speed to these guys. Holy crap! They just took down everything. They took down even the Vulture is in, so that was buffed heavily there with the nuke. Spartan's down. Went in a little bit too deep. There's another trash drop, but heavy metal will be countering that completely. And these heavy metal tanks might just be too much for Dark Knight to take on. He finally might be in that spot where he has to accept reality that he only has one base. And the Spartans are being dealt with by those souped up tanks of Isabels. But wait, they're still stealing. They're still stealing tanks. What is going on? Dark Knight's going wild. Okay, I think that Spartan's going down as well. And then Dark Knight only has now one left. that can do capturing. Got his Jerome, of course, who's quite a Powerpuff Girl himself. Tanks have to respect it a little bit. This army. Dark Knight's still in just 46 pop. This isn't good. This is not good for Dark Knight. Slowly but surely, Mido's taking over the entirety of the map. Brutal, man. Brutal. And if this army just hits the main, that's probably it. Hero's off on a side quest to take over some... Oh, that was a tank there. I see. That's a good side quest then. But now it's time to come home. I'm not so sure this tank can actually destroy the base while all this is happening. That's a lot of healing coming through as well. More tanks from Dark Knight. Making something happen. Might be able to take down that weak Wolverine. Just chipping away at the army at this point is very valuable. I've got the big drop in. No mines though. Where's the mines? Gotta combo that thing with something. It's such a nice stun. Jerome doesn't have that many stunts unless the heroes are out. Taking down the holograms one by one. Nightingale starting to go down. This is once again pretty potent. Can't believe this game is still going. Like Mr. One Base over here. Oh god, he's gonna get vultured. That's probably it, gamers. If the resource buildings go down, everything goes down. Mech Blast for additional emotional damage. And some nukes for the supply pads. Oh boy, that's the economy gone. The Dark Knight has a bank. He can recover from this slowly. He takes down the flyboys, it's even better. Got plenty of Wolverines, so it's not looking too terrible. That could have been a lot worse. If they take down all the supply pads, that's different. But they didn't. I think they overstayed their welcome there as well. There was no backup. Backup's over here. But once the vulture number reaches ridiculous levels, I think you just snipe whatever's in the way. Or even just sacrifice them into the base, whatever. That's all you gotta do at this point. Mido is just significantly ahead, but if he keeps losing bases himself, it's not that bad for Dark Knight. He can maybe still fix this. Just barely. Dude, those Wolverines are heroes. They just took down like 6 vultures. What the hell is happening? And the base. And the base is gone. But this is not the time to leave the home. You gotta deal with this one more time, and then it's time for the big fight. Mido actually does not have enough resources because this isn't a real base, right? So it wasn't a free base as it looks on the minimap. No. Free generators back home is not bad, but he doesn't have any captured power nodes. In fact, these 2 power nodes have not been touched by either player, so that's probably the place where, most importantly, you can see that this is, in fact, the Amateur League. Sorry, boys, but it's 34 minutes. There's no easy way to say this, so I'll just say it how it is. Anyway. Honestly, I'm not feeling like I'm casting an Amateur League match myself, so this league has just improved in quality over time as more and more people got interested in playing at tournaments. And, you know, we have 24 signups in the segregated league is, I think, really nice. I'm very happy with that. So let's keep it going. You guys keep an eye out for future tournaments, of course. Join our Discord. Make an account on our website. Keep an eye on our social posts, and you should be covered. We'll definitely add you if you're reachable. In fact, there's a Rising Star tournament coming soon. And those anti-air missiles not doing so much against all this armor. These tank wars are actually amazing for Jerome. What the hell? Holy crap! We just got the edge off that, but that Mach Blast did some damage for sure. If the tank can follow it up with canister shells, then the vehicles will be annihilated here. And that's exactly what Mido is trying to set up. He's even flanking this. All he's got to do is shoot the Wolverines. They'll disappear so quickly, and he's doing exactly that. Oh my god, Dark Knight just lost all his stuff. This is terrible for Mr. Blue, but super well done by Mr. Red. Mido might be the series winning move for him, in fact. Wow. Beautiful. Even the Nightingale falls to the ground. Can he get this space going, maybe? Working on minis. They're all empty. So Dark Knight doesn't have resources. He has to choose between making like one tank or resource buildings. And I think the reasonable choice right now is to use the hero to just camp at home. You've got the anti-turrets, right? Oh, wait. One of the anti-vehicle turrets is gone already, so this is not that scary for Mido right now. We can go in and engage. You can just take down this and go from there. Not bad at all. But if we do reach the 1 hour limit, we have a tournament rule for that. Whoever has significantly more map control gets the automatic win, unless there's something crazy happening around the map, you know? So if there's no obvious effort being made to reclaim map control, then yeah, we just give the win to whoever has more stuff. Spartan gonna take over the Vulture, and with that, that's a very important anti-building weapon. Should be able to take down whatever he wants. Omega Team is back for Dark Knight, very nice. That should be able to take over 3 tanks over there. He jumps on the correct ones. No hijacking any holograms. And with 3 Spartan-powered tanks, he will be able to do some pretty solid work here, but still losing a generator there. Jerome doing what he can to help, of course, buffing these tanks up pretty big time. But it's just a numbers game, isn't it? Oh, they're taking so much damage. Eventually, the Spartans will be ready for another set of jumps still, so they can just keep rotating this. That's why I like mass vultures better than mass tanks against Jerome. Because you just can't kill those heroes with the nukes, right? The tanks have a much harder time doing so, even though they have pretty good damage against heroes. If they're smoked, you just can't shoot anyway. So Dark Knight once again holds on to dear life, but I think this time is different. This time he's actually out of eco. Trying to remake a generator here. Actually, I don't like that. So he can't really afford it. There's an armory out there. There's no pads. And these stray little tanks just destroying the bases casually is pretty sick. But it's got a star. This is something I think you want to take over with your Spartan. The mini base be damned. Build up the stars on the Spartans and then suddenly it's going to be a very different kind of ball game, but time is running short, right? In 20 minutes, Dark Knight has to be ahead or attacking to get a lead and actually make it happen. Nice Mantis drop there, taking down another tank, but that was too many active tanks targeting the Spartan as it was trying to capture them. So sometimes that will fail when there's too much firepower shooting at the Spartan, of course. That was one of those cases right now. Oh, the tank got out of the way too. The Spartan won't be able to capture it now until the cooldown's back. And this is a huge fleet of vehicles heading to the main now. Mido is almost maxed out. And I think shooting down the base won't be that much of an issue. Especially with just the one anti-vehicle turret. It's just not enough. It's gonna get nuked as well. And we've got a Mach Blast in the... That's a Mach Blast level 3. Just absolutely wiped the buildings. This might be GG. I don't think that Dark Knight can rebuild these. Although he's gonna get a sick trash job here in the corner. Oh my god. And the Spartan landing on top also. That was very nicely done, but the tanks are still too good. They take down the Spartan, they take down the buildings, and they take down Dark Knight, I think. This looks like the end. His last of his buildings is getting built. If that pad is destroyed before it completes, it's Ogre. Whoa, that Spartan gets a little overeager there. Would have preferred to go for the Vulture. Because then you can nuke the pad. But maybe you can still do it. Oh my god. More tags. Dark Knight's dead, ladies and gentlemen. That's gonna be it. It's double elimination, so he's not dead, but man, he's biting the bullet for this series, that's for sure. Tanks actually works out. Don't need anything else. That's gonna be GG right there. Just one Wolverine left. He's gonna show him. No units, no buildings, no nothing. GG. Mido cleaned up. It's gonna be a beautiful 3-2. Great series. And this was just the winners finals. We've got the losers finals. We've got the grand finals to go. We want to thank our website patrons. This is by far the best way to support MetaPlays. Your contribution helps keep the project sustainable and allows us to produce more and better content. If you aren't yet a patron, check out our link in the description and get in touch to collect your perks. We will see you the next time.